Ghana attested to that if we put our acts together and we're able to do our internally generated resources and put them together, we may even not need any benefits from other countries before we can survive. And therefore, if we're able to come together as a people, if we're able to outlaw those things, then we should also come together to be able to make sure we generate our own resources and go for it.
You as a speaker of the sub-region parliament, what do you think of? Is it a good way for Ghana to go?
In the first place, as ECOWAS parliament and ECOWAS generally, we do not interfere into the domestic affairs of member countries. However, if we find out that there are those issues that will bring about human rights issues, that will bring about insecurity, that will bring about undemocratic principles, we will come in.
Does it appear that any attempt to legislate a law that makes it a crime is a human rights violation?
Absolutely, I agree with you, but it depends. It depends on the interpretation and the intent of the law. For every law that is being made in every parliament all over the world, the intent behind that law is more important than what you see on paper. So we have to also look at the intent of the law.
Should Ghana be cautious?
I believe so, if it is not in the interest of the people.
All right.
But the LGBTQ plus bill could fall short of being approved into law because of the inability of the sponsors to get full bipartisan support. That's according to the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, that's Dr. Rashid Draman, tells TV3 getting a good buy-in of the executive by the members of parliament backing this bill is the only way to guarantee its passage into law.
The bill, having an overwhelming support among the religious population, seemed to have divided opinion in the public space. After days of media debates, governance experts have also taken critical views, especially on its implications on Ghana's relations with its Western partners if passed into law. On logical matters of procedure too, the Executive Director for the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Draman, also seems to observe it could fall short of being passed mainly due to the absence of adequate buy-in for it.
When I looked at the sponsors of the bill, it looks as if most of them or all of them come from the NDC side. And for me, that is the disturbing part, especially also because at the end of the day, the president has to give his accent to the bill. If we don't have bipartisan support, then it might become very difficult. Assuming they even have the numbers, we don't know whether the president is going to be comfortable to sign the bill into an act of parliament. If he doesn't, then I think the next process is to get about 2/3 of the House. If this is seen as a bill sponsored by the NDC side and then we begin to see divisions, then I am not too sure that, assuming that the president doesn't give his assent, I'm not going to see the possibility of getting the 2/3 majority that is needed.
In countries where such controversial private member bills have sailed through, sponsors make use of lobbies to woo key stakeholders, among others, to achieve acceptance.
There are cultural issues involved. Second, there are religious issues, and these are the emotional issues sometimes that divide people. And all these are, part of this current discussion on this bill. So, at the end of it all, I think our lawmakers would have to make the decision. They would have to make the call. We elected them to go and represent us, so they would have to make the call. And if the bill eventually becomes law, well, as a country, we have to live with it and live with the consequences if there are any.
In more news tonight, the Justice Kumsin Committee tasked to probe the Ejura disturbances has urged government to implement fully its recommendations. The committee was at the Interior Ministry to present the 54-page report after 12 days of public hearing.
After listening to 22 witnesses and reviewed volumes of documents, audios and videos, we have come with our findings and preferred some recommendations. These we present to you today in the hope that the government, through your good self, will give a good ear to them and try to accept and implement them.
Meanwhile, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry is hopeful the findings would enable government to resolve all conflicting reports on the matter.
The report I accept. I would study the report and then submit same to the president in consonance with the directive that he gave. But I can assure you that we would take the report very, very seriously.
And also on the Ayawaso Commission report, the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry denied that some persons recommended to be sanctioned were shielded. He noted investigations are ongoing to find the culprits.
I was privileged to be Minister for the Interior of this country in the first term. And there was the Ayawaso case where people were killed by police officers in the night, and a committee was set up. The committee came out with 3 recommendations. Number 1, that the people who were killed were not armed robbers, right? We accepted it and declared it as such. Very important point, because the memory of those who had died, the reputation of the people for their families was very important. We dealt with that. Number 2, they recommended compensation. We paid the compensation. Number 3, they recommended prosecution of the persons who were found culpable. Now, what happened was that apart from those who were killed, the only people who were around and had evidence were the police. And they were not 1, they were not 2, they were many. In law, you must find out who exactly did what. The investigation is still ongoing now. And that is why you've heard me say time without number that we need the body cams. The body cams which will work day and night would have told us who fired, would have had it, and would have looked at it and dealt with it. So it is not true that we have shielded anybody. And I can assure you that with my president and with me here, no chance. Security is about politics.
So we're going to be perusing, analyzing some of the details of this report on the Jura killings in our subsequent bulletins, including recommendations as, for instance, the MC being sacked, amongst others. We'll get into it. But the news that we're just learning is that the National Democratic Congress, NDC's Functional Executive Committee, that's FEC, has communicated the expulsion of its former Deputy General Secretary, that's Samuel Koku Anyidoho. He has been expelled from the party. This is a letter communicating this decision by the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, signed by Johnson Esiedun Ketia, the General Secretary of the NDC, communicating to all of us that indeed the decision as taken today at a meeting of the Functional Executive Committee have decided that Samuel Koku Anyidoho be expelled from the party. And this person who signed this statement is joining me on the telephone. Johnson Esiedun Ketia is General Secretary of the NDC. I thank you very much for your time this evening, sir, if you can hear me. Now, Koku Anyidoho has been on suspension for a while now. And what exactly are these allegations of misconduct and anti-party behavior, as you've captured in this particular document, which has led to the decision to expel him?
Well, good evening to listeners, and thank you for having me. I think the letter has referred to the disciplinary committee's report, and all those allegations are contained in there. But for the benefit of listeners who may not be having the document, it borders on anti-party conduct relative to publications in all the media, I mean electronic, print, and traditional media. Statements that are calculated to bring the image of NDC into repute. And so when we engage in any such conduct, because NDC of laws, we don't rush to take any rash decision. We give you the opportunity to be heard, and you could be represented by a lawyer before a discipline committee. That opportunity was given him. Unfortunately, the disciplinary committee reported last week recommending his expulsion on the grounds that he has invaded service and declined any opportunity to avail himself to defend himself. So they did not have any other option than to recommend his expulsion. And according to our rules, once a disciplinary committee makes a specific recommendation, it takes more than two-thirds majority of FEC to overturn the recommendation. On this particular occasion, when the motion was tabled, the report was tabled, it had overwhelming endorsement. So there was no single objection to the recommendation. So I therefore had the unenviable duty to execute that sentence, which I have faithfully done this evening.
Of which we have a copy of.
The honorable member from NDC, and to request him to return any party property that he may be keeping to the party, and also to inform him that according to our constitution, any monies by way of dues, contributions, or whatever that he had made to the party during the time he was a member stands forfeited to the party.
So does this mean that the disciplinary committee actually extended invitation to him during that period of a hearing or investigations into this misconduct and anti-party behavior you talk about? They tried
all the means. If you read the report with dates, they used ordinary letter, refused to accept it. It was sent by courier, which had been received. And he actually indicated that he would not accept the letter on 2 occasions. And so, as for WhatsApp messages, email messages, several of them. So they came to the conclusion that he was simply evading. And so they then drew the conclusion and recommended his expulsion.
All right. I thank you very much for your time this evening. Johnson Eshedun Ketia is the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. So that's the news. As confirmed, you heard the person who signed this is Johnson Eshedun Ketia, we just spoke to, that's communicating towards the decision by the Functional Executive Committee of the NDC, acting upon the recommendations of the Disciplinary Committee of the NDC that Samuel Koku Anyidoho be expelled from the party. He's been on suspension for a while. He was a former Deputy General Secretary of the party. He was head of communications during the late John Evans Atta Mills' presidency, and he is now the president of the John Evans Atta Mills Institute, and that's what's happening now, the information that we're just getting. So, Portia, there you have it as confirmed by Johnson Eshedun Ketia.
And we will certainly get a reaction from Koku Anyido. But let's go to the western region where 2 people have suffered gunshot wounds following a shooting incident at Bogoso. The shoots during a protest at a mining company known as Future Global Resources. The 2 youth were among several other community members who had gone to the concession sites of Future Global Resources to protest what they termed failed promises from the company.
The shooting took place while police sought to warn and ward off the youth from the property of mining company Future Global Resources. Communities sited around the concession of Future Global Resources were protesting the company's failure to resettle them some 15 years after a promise was made to do so due to mining operations. The youth claim the development of the community has stunted since the promise of resettlement was never met. They add any attempt to develop any infrastructure in the community might be deemed as speculative development and might not be compensated. Pictures and amateur videos obtained by TV3 News show the angry youth entering the premises of the company and setting several installations ablaze. Infrastructure such as a digital security post, union office and vehicles belonging to Future Global Resources were vandalized. The administration block, air conditioners destroyed and other offices ransacked. Justifying their action, the youth says is in response to several failed efforts to get the company to honor their promise. The 2 who were shot are currently receiving treatment at the Prestia Government Hospital.
We'll get more of this in subsequent bulletins, but it's been more than a year since the outbreak of COVID-19 in China, and while countries have instituted measures to halt the spread and manage the pandemic, there are concerns some politicians have taken advantage of the situation to enrich themselves. In the following report, we highlight some of the missed timelines and play up the contradictions by managers of Ghana's situation as we have it.
After the uncertainty surrounding vaccine availability, Ghana on February 24, 2021 received 600,000 Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine doses to cater for frontliners, essential service providers and other risk groups in the first phase of a rollout. President Akufo-Addo was confident from February 28, 2021 the consignment was to begin a massive vaccination drive.
This will facilitate our ability to reach our target of vaccinating 20 million Ghanaians by the end of this year.
How about this? A few days later, on March 12.
We are expecting about, the total dose that is going to come from the COVAX facility, about 12 million shots. It's about 6.4 million doses. From March, early April, we're expecting 2 million doses, which will come between now and May.
The most powerful countries with financial muscle to manufacture or purchase vaccines were themselves requiring to inoculate their own. This meant all others would have to struggle. On April 18, Director General of the Ghana Health Service had an excuse.
We are now trying to shift it to the 12 weeks. But as vaccines are available, like I said, the earliest is the 8 weeks, and that will be giving your vaccination. There are significant efforts being made, and we have some assurance from COVAX that by May we'll get vaccination, and if we get our vaccine in May, we'll be able to do our second doses.
8 weeks became 12, 12 became 16, and counting. But President Akufo-Addo maintained on May 16, 2021, that the target of inoculating 20 million citizens was on course.
That we have not been able to secure as many vaccines and vaccinated as many Ghanaians as we would have wanted. In spite of these obstacles, the target is to vaccinate some 20 million Ghanaians, i.e. the entire adult population of Ghana, by the end of the year.
Add 600,000 vaccines to a further 350,000 redeployed Congo COVAX shots, another 300,000 doses. Never mind the controversial 20,000 Sputnik V vaccines from the Emirati Sheikh Al Maktoum. Ghana's vaccine drive has so far seen a little over 1.2 million jabs administered. As agitations grew, a number of timelines given by the Ghana Health Service elapsed, and yet again, no show. But persons in 43 districts who received their first jabs will finally have the opportunity to get their second doses almost 12 weeks after.
The beginning Wednesday, the 19th of May to Wednesday, 26th May, the deployment of the second dose of vaccines will take place across the designated vaccination centers. We are expecting an additional 300,000 doses of Sputnik 5 vaccines.
More than 800,000 others remain without their second jabs. Government says it expects another consignment of vaccines by the third quarter.
We're going to ramp up the vaccine distribution. Third quarter starts from July, August, September. We are very certain in our mind that the United States government has donated 1,229,610 Pfizer vaccines. Ghana government, through African Medicine Supply Platform, to get 17 million doses. So if you add all these things together, it means within this third quarter, there's going to be a lot of deployment of vaccines.
Many have cast doubts over government's target of 20 million vaccinated citizens by October. Some experts say for this to be attained, the country needs to administer first doses of about 65,000 persons each day, which you agree is far-fetched. But we keep hope alive, trusting that the procurement of the vaccines will not spark another web of shady transactions with intermediaries and land us back to where we were with the botched Sputnik V deal.
Still on COVID-19, the police in Kumasi has begun enforcing the mandatory wearing of the face mask in public. This forms part of efforts by local authorities to curb the spread of COVID-19, as a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
With the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in the country, the public has been directed to strictly adhere to the wearing of nose masks anytime they step out of their homes. President Akufo-Addo, in his 26th address to the nation on measures to contain the spread of the virus, maintained the wearing of masks is compulsory.
The wearing of masks in public places, fellow Ghanaians, continues to be mandatory. There are no exceptions to this rule, and strict conformity with this protocol will be enforced. Anyone found to be flouting this directive will have him or herself to blame.
Barely 2 days after the president's address, there appears to be an improvement regarding the compliance to the nose mask directive. Most people at the Central Business District of Kumasi were spotted in their nose masks, with the exception of few recalcitrants who were forced by a team of police deployed in town to enforce the wearing of the mask. I don't wear nose mask because the leaders don't tell us the truth. The leaders flouted the safety protocols when they attended Sir John's funeral. I'm aware of the existence of the virus. I'll buy the nose mask and wear it later. The moment we stop wearing the nose mask, we record the surge in cases. So I'm advising all to adhere to the wearing of the nose masks, so government does not waste money on treating us. The improved level of compliance also means nose mask vendors will cash in.
We were selling a box for 7 cedis in recent times, but people were not buying because they claim the virus is gone. However, after the president addressed the nation, patronage has started going up. The nose mask business declined in recent times, but since the president spoke, the patronage has improved.
Ashanti region has an active case count of over 1,000, with a total death of 297 as at Tuesday, July 27, 2021. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3, Kumasi.
From Kumasi, Ibrahim Abubakar there, and we're going to go for the business news. I love this. Stay with us. Etonam Say comes up with more in the world of business.
Mama Chelsea. Fair.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Zuzum, right here in my house. Hey!
Look up there. Why are you using inferior pen? It was mistake. I no check. Acrobat 2. I'm going to knock you out. I know, sir. You deserve quality.
Don't make mistake. Stop!
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint champion.
Help fight the spread of germs. Learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of germs in Africa.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
For generations, Ghanaians have had one thing in common, and that's the way we start our day. Wherever your day will take you, start with the energy from Cadbury Richoco, made from the finest Ghanaian cocoa.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello there. We know what matters today, don't we? Hurry up. Follow safety measures. Drive for hours. Grab the perfect spot, park smoothly, and then visit another shop and scroll for the opportunities. Tap to pay. Enjoy that extra reward. Get 10% extra cash back when you pay with Visa. How you pay matters.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful. Cleansoft, my favorite. Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
Kellogg's Moons and Stars. Astro Cocoa, where is the Milky Way?
It's this way. And where there's moons and chocolatey stars,
That's where the fun starts.
mission begin.
Yay!
Mission accomplished.
Yummy! So milky and chocolatey.
Introducing Kellogg's Moons and Stars.
This effort is FDA approved.
Nana, come and help me. You need to learn, but I'm more interested in drawing. How are you going to be part of the business if you don't learn? You just don't understand.
Morning. Anyone for some Lipton?
The rich taste of Lipton awakens body and mind.
Let me have a look at your drawings. Son, these designs are amazing.
Lipton Yellow Label Tea, awaken to what really matters.
I'm at the station. Please, can you give me the direction? Ask anyone. Okay, madam.
Madam Punchy Peach.
Why you go Punchy Peach? Corso Road. Now, where is number 4 Enumde Avenue?
Corso! Front right, sharp left.
Please, direct me to number 4 Enumde Avenue.
Corso!
One car you go Punchy Peach. And give me direction to number 4 Enumde Avenue.
Corso!
Please, can you direct me to number 24 Enumde Avenue?
Keep going with the goodness of the new Fanny Yogo Punchy Peach. So cool, so good.
It's brought to you by MTN, Roma Insecticide Spray and Coil.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights, Lufat.
Tonam says here. With all the news in the world of business, what's happening at Tonam?
Right, Alfred. The Ghana Association of Bankers wants government to prioritize policies that will accelerate the pace of economic growth into the second half of the year. President of the association, John Ewa, speaking ahead of the mid-year budget review, expects government to lay out timelines for the downward revision of the levies on the financial sector.
Following the financial sector cleanup exercise and a refund of money to depositors, confidence in the banking sector has been restored, according to the Bank of Ghana. This, however, came at a high cost of over 21 billion cedis to government, prompting the introduction of the financial sector cleanup levy of 5% on profits before tax.
Whether there is a programmed approach to gradually winding down the levies that have been imposed on the banking sector in particular. We're talking about the financial sector cleanup levy, and then there's also the National Fiscal Stabilization Levy. In particular, the National Fiscal Stabilization Levy, we are interested in knowing whether the minister, maybe in the 2022 budget, maybe not in the mid-year review, but in the 2022 budget, will be looking at giving us a sunset timeline on when to wind down the financial sector stabilization levy.
The Ghana Bankers Association in the second half of the year wants governments to keep the seeming increase of the public debt currently at 76% of GDP under control.
We also have to keep a second eye on the impact that is likely to have on the debt stock. Once that becomes too big and too large for proper management, it also limits the government's ability to meet its commitment to our customers, the contractors that we have financed, the suppliers of government that we have also given money to. So we are keenly watching the kind of debt consolidation measures that the minister plans to implement.
In the face of a third wave of COVID-19, he expects policy measures that will direct the flow of liquidity to create an economy that is self-sufficient.
And still ahead of the budget, the Bogoso Spare Parts Dealers Association expects government to stabilize the city as a measure to ease ways of doing business. The move, according to the co-chair of the association, Clement Boateng, would allow for projections and stability in the price of goods and services. He spoke to George Queenie.
One of the greatest concerns of traders at Bogoso has been access to cheap credit and a conducive environment for doing business. Ahead of the mid-year budget review presentation by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, on Thursday, July 29, the association is expectant of incentives to cushion them and ease ways of doing business and the city stabilized.
Every week they come out with a new exchange rate, and there has never been any occasion that they have come out with the rate and it has, gone down. It keeps going up. So we have been calling for a quarterly review of the exchange rate.
The association further expects government to relook at the compulsory marine cargo insurance as their suppliers abroad have insurers they already engage.
This is something that we think it should be optional because our suppliers offshore do have insurance companies that they can, fish out and then find out those who think will be, best. We think their premium, will be good for us, so that they can fall on them, to do the marine insurance on cargo. But they cannot, let the National Insurance Commission, and for that matter, the insurance people here, take monopoly, of it.
On the National Development Bank, co-chair of the association wants government to rope in the commerce sector as parties which can also access funds.
And Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has charged central banks in Africa to roll out a continental payment system to improve trade and investment under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. He made the observation at the opening of the 5th Ghana International Trade and Finance Conference in Accra.
Economic experts from across the world discussed issues on improving trade, investment and finance on the African continent. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, charged central banks in African countries to roll out more reliable and efficient systems to consolidate the African free trade area.
easiest and the quickest way for us to go as a continent is to have the national switches connect directly to the Pan-African payment and settlement system. So when the national switch in Ghana, for example, and the GIBS connects to the Pan-African system, then it brings along immediately all the 23 or so banks that are functional. And similar in Nigeria, similar with the BCIO. But if we want to wait for each individual financial institutions to connect directly, you will see that there will be a long delay.
Currently, the Association of Ghana Industries is disturbed that despite the improvements in the payment system, there's still the need for African leaders to roll out an integrated system for transactions.
Realize that most African countries have a very effective mobile money systems. In fact, in Ghana, our mobile money system supersedes that of the banking check transactions. What we are looking for is to see how we can integrate this mobile money system across border, so that if I was in Tamale and I'm selling my share butter in Nairobi, I can receive M-Pesa directly through my mobile money in Ghana.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, was honored for his role in promoting the digitization of Ghana's economy. The conference was on the theme, Facilitating Trade in the African Continental Free Trade Area, the role of the financial sector.
Let's now head to the commodities market and see how good cocoa and crude fared today. And cocoa shaved off some 0.79% to exchange at $2,375 per metric ton. Gold trimmed a 0.07% off its price to trade at $1,800 per ounce. Brent crude was the only gainer with a 0.3% price increase to close the day at $74.6 a barrel. And that'll be it for Business for tonight. Remember, there's more business news on 3news.com. My name is Eton Amsi. Many thanks for your time.
Phantom X, new Elite flagship. Be bold, be extraordinary.
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and just look at the day. You know you'll see.
The show was a jar or bar anyone concurrent dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a compare.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 malaria sententem.
FDA,
Have you heard of Eden Heights, a luxury gated residential development located in the heart of Accra West, just behind West Hills Mall? It's Accra's best kept secret, a master planned community of modern style apartments and penthouses bearing the superior seal of grade A finishing. Eden Heights promises residents convenience, security and comfort. For an all-inclusive and self-contained living experience, Eden Heights is your best choice. You are guaranteed a wide variety variety of social and recreational conveniences right at your doorstep, including open green spaces, soccer pitch, swimming pools, tennis court, fitness center, playgrounds, and entertainment facilities. Reserve your luxury apartment on our limited promotional offer with just 25,000 cedis. Call 050-1531-444 for more information and to book a viewing. Terms and conditions apply. Eden Heights, welcome home.
From wherever you are on planet football,
you can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
And they sing, they dare to sing.
It's a rhythm.
1-2.
1-2. Football.
La football.
Soccer. 1-2.
That moves us.
Salah to settle it. There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
Should you rumor to me?
Tonton Master, Roma insecticide spray at Roma. Interfere, Entatia, make a cheha. No way! Shemikunu, and Tonton Bako crown fanimo, and also a pussy. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito crab. Emma, what dare we a sham? Roma,
Roma and Tonton Master.
Fraise gives you a moment of pure freshness every day. A creamy, rich leather soap with great fragrances. Fraise, a unique smooth feeling. Fraise, your moment of escape. Dream, your dreams come true.
Segment is brought to you by
Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Time now to do sports here on News 360 with me, Juliet Bilwa. So to our very first story, in Ghanaian international Christian Achu says the country's football must have a recognizable identity that runs through all the ranks. Speaking exclusively to 3 Sports, Achu, who recently signed for Al Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, is hopeful such a system will help advance the Ghanaian game.
Welcome to Dewa NLA 539 direct draw results, coming to you live from the Brennan Hall of the National Lottery Authority. The winning numbers for tonight's draw are Congratulations to all Dewa NLA 539 direct winners for tonight. See you same time tomorrow. Be the next winner. Simply dial *446# and select option 1 to play Dewa NLA 539 direct. You can also play at selected Lotto kiosks across the country. Dewa NLA 539 direct. Afa, we didn't know. It's show. Yeah, kind of direct. Now, what's this saying? With Dewa NLA 539 direct, you only have to select up to 5 numbers from 1 to 39. To play, dial *446# across all mobile networks and select option 1. With a minimum of 2 Ghana cedis, you can bet on direct 1. Match the first number and win 20 times your stake. Direct 2. Match 2 numbers and win 45 times your stake. Direct 3. Match 3 numbers and win 400 times your stake. Direct 4. Match 4 and win 5,000 times your stake. Direct 5. Match all 5 numbers to win 50,000 times your stake. The more you play, the more you win. Look out for the draw results on TV3 News at 7 p.m. Win easy, win every day with Dewa NLA 539 direct. Afa, winning no, it choke.
Time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, yeah. Believe it, you gotta keep Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the place. Oh yeah, come alive.
Puma Drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Introducing new Sunlight 2-in-1. It gives you burst, after burst, after burst of long-lasting freshness. New Sunlight 2-in-1 for burst after burst of long-lasting freshness.
Now you can be part of the extraordinary world of endless possibilities on Vodafone. With the best value and amazing data offers and services available in Ghana, your dreams are achievable. Get more for less with Vodafone data. Vodafone. Together we can.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Puma Drinks. I'm Anita Kyokufu, and in entertainment this evening, promising ever traditional folk musician Sarah Music is out with a 16-track album titled Room, which translates into Volta region's originally music. The album is intended to revive interest in the old and forgotten ever folk songs by repackaging them to a new and modern audience. Versatile talent, Sarah Music is on a mission to retell old tales, share experiences, and ultimately make old ever folk songs more appealing to the younger generation. On a typical weekend, Sarah, a native of Peki, and his friends mount platforms to share traditional folk music with their audience.
Sarah Music is an Ewe traditional folk musician. So what I do is I revive the old forgotten Ewe tunes. The purpose of folk songs is to be handed over from generation to generation. So I decided to pick up these ones and make them like more modern. So during the lockdown, I tried something in folk in Ewe, and the response was great. I'm like, well, why don't I just maybe focus the energy there? So that's how it all began.
After 7 years in the music business, Sarah boasts of 2 albums, with the latest being the 16-track Room album. Laced with relatable life stories and morals, songs on the Room album educate and at the same time entertains fans with exciting modernized lyrics.
So this one you're going to see Agokoli, which narrates the story of we the Evers, our escape from Inoche. We have Selassie, we have Womanome. Womanome just means without you. Wogbe Mase, only you I'll listen to. My dream is to see Vota music or Ewe music go up there. To see Ewe music being also in the mainstream.
Supporting artists including Saint from Lomé and Catwell from Australia saluted Sarah's originality and wished him well in his endeavors. That's it for entertainment. Have a good evening.
On the international front, German drug maker BioNTech plans to develop its first malaria vaccine and begin clinical trials by next year. The ambitious turnaround time is thanks to mRNA technology used to develop the Pfizer and Moderna coronavirus vaccines in under a year.
Okay, remember, there's more news on 3news.com. Join me and the rest of the team tomorrow morning on 3FM 92.7. We're going to get some updates on the high-profile murders that have occurred in this country. So it's from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 3FM 92.7. My name is Alfredo Kansi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Good evening.
Media, minim senya F-Pack ye jumantem, bua tu hunam yaw eni tipaya ase. Ni senti, mi hu se na na ye busan wodwabo kese na se, aye yi masutre se eye tipaye eni hunam yaw na eha nanano. Na minim ne o se me ye. F-Pack ye busie droma woni a wodi mfie dunsia na ye chire. Asmani osayafo. Apefo ni ma wo manufo de, ensese wo fa F-Pack. Se wo fa F-Pack ne nu na ho